Tyson, Holyfield, Lewis, and others give their predictions for Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Let's start off with Mike Tyson. He says, although Wilder's punch is strong, nothing can compare to the mental strength Fury has shown both in and out of the ring. It will be a close call, but I think Fury's got a true fighting chance. So Mike Tyson is going for his namesake, Tyson Fury, the person who was named after him. So we got one there for Fury. Holyfield says, it's a great fight. Fury's got a lot of skills. He's awkward and has long arms. He has good reflexes and is a strong counterpuncher. Deontay needs to be first and he can't wait on Tyson. Tyson's always been the bigger fighter. In fighting Deontay, it's the same case. If things get difficult, he's got more experience and a lot of tricks. I think with Deontay's power, he might be able to end it early, but if Tyson can frustrate him and it goes the distance, then it could go his way. So Holyfield kind of sitting on the fence there, not really picking one way or the other. Lennox Lewis, he says, if it goes the distance, then it belongs to Tyson Fury. If it's a short fight, it'll be to Deontay Wilder. This is an epic and most unpredictable showdown. I can't wait for this fight. All right, Lewis is sitting on the fence. He's just going with the general consensus, which is Fury on points, Wilder by knockout. And that's okay. I ain't criticizing that. I'm probably going to sit on the fence too. Make room for me on there, please. George Foreman says, I'm a big fan of Deontay Wilder, and I was impressed with Tyson Fury and how he avoided the big shots against Vladimir Klitschko. I can see him going 12 rounds with Wilder because of his height and reach. The great thing about this fight is that we're all talking about it. I think Wilder wins a close decision. Very interesting prediction from George Foreman. And if I had to make a prediction, I might be tempted to go with Foreman's prediction of Wilder on points in a controversial fight. I might be tempted to go for that, you know. Deontay Wilder is not as easy to hit as you might think. And against Tyson Fury, who has very long arms and what have you, yeah, I think Wilder's going to do a fairly good job. As long as he don't freeze or anything like that, I think he's going to do a fairly good job of avoiding being hit clean, particularly in the early rounds. I think so. And because of that, if you've got a lot of rounds that are not a lot of punches are landing, they're open to interpretation. You know, we're back to that same thing, like with the Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev fights, where you've got so many rounds that were open to interpretation because of the fact that hardly any clean punches are landing from either man. And in a situation like that, don't be surprised if Wilder got a controversial decision. Don't be surprised. So Foreman might be onto something, in my opinion. Of course, this fight could end by knockout. Fury might go for the knockout. If he feels like he's behind, if he feels like I'm not going to get a decision in this guy's backyard, he might go for the knockout. Who knows? But yeah, I think that might be a wiser prediction than some people realize. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's heavyweight boxing. And this is all just guesswork. You know, anything can happen. These guys could fight 3 times and you can get 3 different outcomes. You get a draw in one fight, a knockout for Fury in one fight, and a knockout for Wilder in the other fight. You know, it's just one of those kind of things. Anyway, Riddick Bowe says, if Wilder comes out and means business, then he should beat Fury with ease. My prediction is Wilder by knockout. All right. Jerry Cooney says, and Jerry Cooney's opinion is interesting to me here because Cooney is Irish-American, a very big, tall guy, a contender from back in the 1980s. You would imagine that he might have some kinship with Tyson Fury and that might sway his prediction. But let's see what he says. He says, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury is a very interesting fight. I love Tyson Fury. I think he's a remarkable self-promoter and he did a great job with Vladimir Klitschko using his feints and throwing Klitschko off his game plan. Deontay is a different kind of fighter though. Fury fights at 30 miles per hour. Deontay fights at 100 miles per hour. So when Deontay catches Fury and gets a hold of him, I think it's going to be over. I admire Fury, but I think he's barking up the wrong tree with this fight. I think the bottom line is that Deontay Wilder is a whole different type of beast. He comes in aggressive and finishes his opponents. I hate to pick, but somebody has to lose. I'm picking Deontay by knockout, and I think it ends inside 4 or 5 rounds. Very interesting prediction from Jerry Cooney. He said there that Fury fights at 30 miles an hour, Wilder fights at 100 miles an hour. Now, I understand what he means by this. Deontay Wilder is not somebody with a terrific work rate, normally. But what he does have is an incredible turbo boost. That's what I call it. Deontay Wilder has this ability to press a button and go into overdrive. Tyson Fury doesn't have that. Tyson Fury doesn't have that injection of speed and power and all this kind of stuff which can come out of nowhere. He don't have that. And that's why Jerry Cooney says if Wilder gets hold of him and goes into overdrive, basically, the fight's going to be over. He doesn't think Tyson Fury will be able to survive one of those Deontay Wilder assaults when he's in turbo mode, when he goes into overdrive. When he manifests into his final form, you know, like Dragon Ball Z. So he doesn't think he'll be able to survive that. And I'm wondering myself whether he'll be able to survive that. I'm wondering. But Wilder doesn't tend to go into that mode until he's caught you with a shot. When he's caught you with something big, then he goes into that mode. But prior to that, he's usually quite conservative in terms of the number of punches he throws. So we'll see. But an interesting prediction there by Jerry Cooney. He thinks that Deontay Wilder's ferocity and the pace that he can inject is going to be the deciding factor, and obviously the power. He's saying Wilder by knockout inside 4 or 5 rounds. That's very early. We'll see. Luis Ortiz says if Fury decides he wants to dip and dive and move, then he can extend the fight. But it's all up to Wilder. If Fury decides he wants to come to the middle of the ring and fight, then it's going to be over quick. Wilder is going to catch him. Prediction, Wilder by KO. Very straightforward there from Luis Ortiz. And Chris Ariola says, I think Wilder fighting Ortiz and now Fury back-to-back gives the fans exciting fights. I like both Wilder and Fury, but for this fight, I'm leaning slightly towards Wilder to win. So there you go. What were the picks? Tyson picking Fury. Holyfield sitting on the fence. Lewis sitting on the fence. Foreman picking... Who did he pick here? Yeah, he picked Wilder. Right, Foreman Wilder. Riddick Bowe Wilder. Cooney Wilder. Ortiz Wilder. And Ariola Wilder. So most of them are picking Deontay Wilder to win. But it's not like he's an overwhelming favorite, even among the pundits, even among the American pundits. Obviously, he is the favorite among American pundits and fighters, but there's still plenty of American fighters and pundits who think it's going to be a close fight, and plenty of them are picking Tyson Fury to win. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about all these predictions. And let me know your predictions. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.